Welcome back, Rams, to another Monday night sports show, the first of the spooky season. I'm Rachel Hallam.
And I'm Erica Johnson. Speaking of spooky seasons, the Mountain West football schedule was released last week.
Ethan shows his gamer side in this week's Bird's Eye View.
We have our pickems for the CTV Sports Pickem. CTV Sports starts right now.
Last week, the Mountain West Conference announced the return of football in the fall, and just a few days later, CSU revealed their 2020 season schedule. Coming out of the 2019 season, the Rams struggled, going 3-5 in conference and failing to pick up victories against their main rivals within the Mountain West, Air Force and Wyoming. Of course, with the 2020 season and less practice time, who knows what could happen? Add a new coaching staff and promising talent, the 2020 season could be a big success for the Rams. Let's take a deeper look at CSU's 4 home matchups of the season. The Rams won't be the only team entering this season with a new coaching staff. The Rams will open their 2020 schedule against the New Mexico Lobos and their head coach, Danny Gonzalez, in a battle of brand new head coaches. In the past 10 competitions between these two teams, CSU has won each one. And with more talent on the field, especially in the skill positions with tight end Trey McBride leading the way, the Rams could secure their first win of the Adazio era. The next game for the Rams will be held November 7th, and it's none other than the Border War. While the Wyoming Cowboys have taken down the Rams in the last 4 border wars, Adazio knows how important this game is, not only to the players in the program, but to the fans too. The Rams should be more prepared than ever to go get their first win against the Cowboys since Canvas Stadium opened up in 2017 and bring the boot back to Fort Collins. Following a tough road test at Boise State, the Rams will come back home November 21st to take on the UNLV Rebels. Before the pandemic hit, it would have been very exciting to see this game in its original location, in the new home of the Raiders, Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. But now, because of COVID-19 precautions and the uncertain off-season, the Rams will host the game in Canvas Stadium. The Rams have won the last 4 against the Rebels and will look to keep the streak alive at home. After taking on Air Force and then San Diego State in 2 back-to-back games on the road, the Rams returned to campus to host the Utah State Aggies. The Aggies are in desperate need to replace quarterback Jordan Love, who was drafted last year by the Green Bay Packers in the first round. Matchups between the Rams and the Aggies have a habit of going down to the wire, and the absence of Love might be a deciding factor in the final score of this game. Now, in the end, with an entirely new coaching staff and the return of some key players such as quarterback Patrick O'Brien, tight end Trey McBride, and defensive lineman Ellison Hubbard, the Rams are on track to improve on their 4-8 record in 2019.
I'm excited to see how they're going to do in this season. After week 2 of NFL competition took down multiple big-name players as the injury bug flew through the league, week 4 was not slowing down. Running back Austin Eckler is believed to have suffered a hyperextended knee and hamstring injury in Sunday's game against the Buccaneers. Eckler is expected to be out for several weeks, and head coach Anthony Lynn said the injury looked pretty significant. Another blow to the knee of a star player, Browns' Nick Chubb, suffered an MCL sprain. Head coach Kevin Stefanski is optimistic that the injury is not season-ending. Jaguars rookie C.J. Henderson was taken out in the first quarter of the game and did not return. Henderson is believed to have suffered a shoulder injury. Bucs tight end O.J. Howard suffered a ruptured Achilles injury in the fourth quarter, and the injury will likely end his season. The 49ers received another blow to their defensive line, Ezekiel Ansah, which was signed between week 2 and 3 because of significant injuries. Ansah suffered an injury of his own torn bicep, which will be season-ending for Ansah and force the Niners to dive back into the free agent pool.
Well, it's definitely been a rough couple of weeks for NFL fans. I mean, there's been non-stop injury, especially since week 2.
Oh, yeah, so many injuries.
It's got to be tough for 49ers fans, too. They seem to have had the blow of it all.
They're taking the brunt.
Exactly. Well, continuing with more NFL coverage, we are back for the Week 4 version of our top 5 plays of the NFL from this Sunday. And just like the injury bug, the excitement bug swept through the league once again. And starting at number 5, we look at the heated battle between Los Angeles Rams quarterback Jalen Ramsey and New York Giants wide receiver Golden Tate. In this one, you could definitely see it was a hard hit, and these two were just going at each other's throats all game long. But if you want, you got to take a look at this replay because the slow motion is just so different. Jalen Ramsey has a perfect wraparound tackle of Golden Tate and just crushes him, hits his back right on the ground.
He just takes him down. Number 4 spot goes to Lamar Jackson, doing what he does best, running one in for a touchdown himself. Jackson, he fakes a fake, and he takes it upon himself. He goes to the 30, the 20, the 10, and he just brings it right in. Oh, almost celebrated way too soon, but there he goes, right there.
And moving to defying gravity at number 3, we have Cincinnati Bengals running back Joe Mixon. Now we could talk about Joe Mixon all game long, his 3 touchdowns from that day alone, but this one definitely takes the cake, leaping over the defender, but also getting smacked in the face right as he crosses the plane. I don't know how he held on to that ball, but he did put up 6 for his team.
One of my favorites taking the number 2 spot is a graceful touchdown from Brandon Ayuk on the 49ers. Watch as Ayuk gets the ball right here. He takes it, misses a couple tackles. Nice. And then watch this right here. Leaps right over the defender. Untouchable and graceful, just like Mixon.
And now to our top play of the week. One of the craziest moves from the week's NFL games happened on one of the NFL's most unpredictable teams, the Cleveland Browns. Jarvis Landry gets the ball back in deep behind his offensive line and drops a perfect pass down to OBJ, who is barely covered in the end zone, puts up 6. He definitely had a day. I love seeing all of this. It makes me so excited that we have sports back, not only football, but sports in general. It's so nice to have that back.
Oh, absolutely. So exciting. I'm excited to see how the Browns are going to do.
Yeah, for sure. After that one, you don't know. It could go either way.
Absolutely. Well, Rams, it's time for a quick timeout. Bird's Eye View with Ethan Bird is coming up next.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
Howdy Rams, nice to see you again this week into another week of Bird's Eye View, and I know how fun it is to hang out up there, but you're going to have to come down and join me again. This week is going to be a little less serious, but something that I really enjoy and has a great community here at CSU. Wait, just hold on a second. So I'm about to nerd out on y'all for just a little bit, so I feel like I should put these on. Yes, we are going to be talking about esports. Competitive video games. Not many people know about it, but CSU has a fantastic esports club. I caught up with their vice president, Kyle Beckman. This is what they're all about. So why don't you just talk to me and everybody at home about, what is CSU Esports all about, kind of the journey you guys have taken to get to where you are right now?
So it started back somewhere around the 4-year-ago mark when one of our previous players, he wanted to create an esports club here. So after a while, it was a slice-only club, so it was a casual club from the get-go. And it wasn't until 2 years ago when the clubs decided they wanted to split into 2 clubs, and we had the opportunity to become a sports club through the rec center here. So we now have 2 clubs, the casual gaming at CSU and the competitive esports at CSU. Casual gaming at CSU is just casual games if you want to come and hang out. We have a Discord server for that, discord.gg/CSU is our link. And our competitive teams are run through that server, so if you ever gain the interest to get on a team, just join the server, add the role to yourself in Discord, and then you can see you have access to those channels. But we have 6 teams. We have our CSGO, Valorant, League of Legends, Rocket League, Hearthstone, and Overwatch teams. So, and then we're working on our Call of Duty teams, and we're gaining interest for a Rainbow Six team as well. So if any of those games pique your interest, that is where you can find us.
Awesome. Sounds like you guys are growing pretty quick. 2 weeks ago you had a Mountain West match against Wyoming.
Yes.
And yourself and your president Caleb, I'm sure were very pivotal in helping to make that happen. Kind of talk to me about what really goes into setting up an esports tournament with another college.
So normally the process is we will message the president or whoever's in charge of the other esports program at that school, and we'll talk to them. We'll be like, hey, do you guys want to do some show matches? And we'll get in a call with everybody. We'll kind of hash it out. Like for this one that we just had, we talked about it probably somewhere mid-June is when we had the idea. We all hopped in a call together and we're like, hey, we want to make this happen. We sort of like got an area of like weekends that we thought it would work well. And then as we got closer, we kind of locked in the dates and we're like, okay, we need to have our competitive teams ready by this time. Rosters are locked and have the dates and the time set up. Once we had that set up, we would figure out who does all the streaming stuff and how we're going to run that, figure out who our camera operators are, and transfer over the stream to other people.
Yeah.
And this time we were fortunate to have the Mountain West let us use their Twitch channel, so we were able to stream it through that. So we had our 2 presidents of each club. So we had Razzle Dazzle from Wyoming, and then we had Caleb from our club. They both streamed one day, and they'd spectate the games as they would go. And from there, we had the game set into their times, and all the players showed up at the right times, and we played it out.
And for the record, CSU smacked Wyoming Esports in their matches, winning the first border war of the year. The CSU Esports has been the only competitive team competing for the university so far this year, and they deserve the love. And esports are something that I hold near and dear to my heart. I mean, how could you not love it when you get some of the best calls in all of broadcast out of it?
Up an F5 with a snowball save. They get the bash out. Saunders will be able to find the IO, but they're fully low OGD. That's Saunders dead for 2 minutes. They get Thompson. Thompson dead for 2 minutes. Only Anna. Anna, can he do it here? He's at half out. Take it to goal. He gets the goal of his lifetime.
His side, and well, that's what happens when you go around the corner. Happy with Wandig. Oh, and another one. Oh, and a third. Happy. He could get another one here too. Dupree is like sweating bullets. Happy's gonna get the quad kill in the ace. What is this?
There is no hook shot. They're all together. PPD, here comes the Ice Blast, ready for the dunk! In from Universe! It's a disaster!
Just so you know, that last play won $6 million for EG. I mean, that's some pretty cool stuff, right? Now, in all seriousness, no matter how you feel about esports being a sport or not, or if it's just video games, it's so much more than that. So I just want to ask you, personally, what does this, this team, this community mean to you?
Personally, it means a lot. When I came to CSU, I kind of was floating around some different friend groups, but once I joined the Overwatch team and the esports community as a whole, I made a lot of friends, and now that I've been in a lot of positions, I've met a lot of new people, and a lot of my closest friends now, they all play different games, and we all kind of work together on stuff for the club. But I have 2 roommates, and they both are on the same team that I am on, So it is a great way to make friends, and the community of it just means a lot to me. It's helped me through a lot of times as well, because they're all my friends, and if I need help, I can just ask them.
And if there's somebody who's, looking for a community like that, what would be your advice to them?
I'd say if you're looking for the community, join the Discord server. Yeah. We have plenty of games, and we do regular, bi-weekly updates. So it adds new chats, for games that, for instance, when Among Us became really popular recently, we added a text chat and a voice chat for that, so people can play Among Us, and I believe they play that game every night. And we just added a watch party channel for when people want to watch TV together. So we have a bunch of chats just to hang out, and there's a lot of games. We have Ark, Minecraft, we have Sea of Thieves, we have Hearthstone, we have Overwatch. We just have a bunch of games that people can play.
And that is exactly what I want this segment to be about, how the sports and activities here at CSU affect our communities. I really enjoyed my time talking with Kyle and CSU Esports, and enjoyed it even more telling you all about them. Again, you can always slide into my DMs on Twitter at Ethan_Bird_ to let me know what you want to hear about in our community. And that is all the time that I have for tonight. Rams, Rachel, and Erica have their Pick'em up next. See you later. I'm Ethan Bird.
Queen is just my everything. Right now, I wouldn't know where my life would be without her.
They say chivalry's dead. It's not. Terrence is a gentleman. He opens doors. His smile did it. His smile, his eyes, his knowledge. My landlord, he decided that he wanted me to move based on the fact that I was transgender. It takes me to a place of no hope. It takes me to a place of loneliness. It saddens me. When you discriminate against somebody in housing, where do these people go? Let's just respect people in everyday life for just being human.
Welcome back from the break, Rams, and to our Pick'em. The Heat finally showed some life last night in their first win of the NBA Finals. Do they take another in Game 4?
Well, granted, they did play pretty well last night, I will say that, but I don't think they're going to be taking this next game. I think the Lakers, that is my pick. I think that they are definitely going to take it. For me, it's just the idea that the Lakers are very good at bouncing back from a loss. And they have refused to show that they're not good at bouncing back from a loss in the past, especially this season. And now they have tons of frustration. I mean, they came into it already with a 2-0 series right now. And I think that they kind of had a feeling they could have a sweep here, but that obviously got crushed. But I definitely think that their frustration and the simple mistakes that they made in that last game are going to affect how they play in this next game.
Yeah, I agree with you. I also picked the Lakers as well. I just think that they have so many potential athletes and players like LeBron James and Anthony Davis that are just so dependable and truly unstoppable together. They are just such a great duo, and I think that they have just so much potential. And Miami also lacks size compared to them, so I just think that Lakers are definitely going to take this one. So I agree with you. Yeah,
and I think that the part that is kind of frustrating for Heat fans is the fact that they have so many injuries right now, too. I mean, you have Bam Adebayo, who's out. You also have Dragic, who's out. They're both key players to this Miami team. And you also talk about how there's star players all across the Lakers. You talk about AD and you talk about LeBron, but you also have to look at the bench, because the guys that are coming off their bench are still making so many key plays that the Lakers definitely need throughout the game. Kuzma, Morris, they both had 19 points each last game. So I think that if their bench continues to be as hot as they have been, and if you have Danny Green who picks it up and doesn't have a 0-6 game, 0 for 6 game, I think that they could definitely beat the Heat in this one.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Heat really has to bring it, especially with those injuries and everything. They need to step it up just because the Lakers, they have so many players, so many key players that just have so much against them.
Absolutely. Well, it's glad that we agree on that one. All right. Well, in the MLB playoffs, it is the Battle of California as the Dodgers and the Padres take each other on in the second round. Who you got, Erica?
Oh, I've got to go with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Come on. Like, they have such a dangerous pitching staff, and I think that they have really dependable hitters as well. And I just think that their entire lineup is just so prepared, and they're going to blow them out of the park. I think they're going to blow them out of the park. And they got Betts in offseason, too, and he's just proved nothing but greatness for them, and he's really dependable, and so is Turner and Seager. So I definitely think that the Padres, the Padres are definitely going down in this one.
Okay, well, I'm going to throw a little bit of a curveball because I like picking the underdogs. Granted, I didn't necessarily pick the underdogs for a while now, but still, I think that the underdog story is going to be quite a good one after the Padres series against the Cardinals. I think that they definitely have a bit of motivation on their backs. I think the only thing that they really need to focus on is the health of their starting pitchers, because granted they did beat the Cardinals without their starting pitchers. I don't think they could do it against the Dodgers. I think it's going to be definitely a much tougher battle for them in this one. But also looking at their shortstops, Fernando Tatis Jr., he had an incredible series against the Cardinals. The 2-homer game with that ridiculous bat flip that everybody saw. I think that he's going to be the star for the Padres coming into this one.
Yeah, I think that they're really going to have to step it up just because I think that the Dodgers are going to be able to really put in those runs.
Yeah, all right. We'll see. We'll see. It's a game of 5 now, not a game of 3, so who knows what's going to happen in this one.
Well, tonight on Monday Night Football, the Packers and Falcons are facing off. Will Atlanta pull another choke job?
I'm going to say yes in this one. I think this was an easy choice for me. I'm going to go with the Packers. Already 3-0. Their offense is doing great right now, and you say that there's a possible choke job coming into this one. The Falcons have not been too fantastic on their defensive ends, but I think for this, the man of the hour is going to be Aaron Rodgers, for sure. I mean, he's 36 years old, and he's not slowing down anytime soon. I think after the draft, when they drafted Jordan Love in their first pick, he was furious. I don't think that he needed that at all. I think that he was totally set on the idea that he was ready to keep playing and to play for a long time, and I think that was just kind of a little knock at him when they drafted him. So I think that's going to be definitely, I think he's going to have a good game in this one, especially because he ran all over the Saints in that last game. And I think that going up against this Atlanta defense, it's going to be not a lot, but a little easier for him.
Yeah, I agree with that one. Absolutely. I also picked the Packers too. Like you said, consistent, dependable, and I think that they also can rely on Aaron Jones, like leading the team in rushing, and he carries 50 times for 303 yards and 4 touchdowns. He's just unstoppable, and I think that he's a really good asset for the team, and I think that they are a big threat to their defense for the Falcons.
Absolutely.
I think they're just a big threat offensively, and I think that they're going to really just do a great job because so consistent, 3-0. I think that they've got this one. It's definitely a choke.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the key for the Falcons is if their defense can hold on to the very end, and I mean the very end, and not give up in the fourth quarter. I think that's definitely going to make a difference to this game. And I think a big problem for the Falcons is who they're missing right now too. Calvin Ridley is questionable, so you don't even know if he's playing, and Julio Jones has been out for a while, which is definitely a key factor for
detrimental.
Absolutely.
Right there.
Matt Ryan doesn't have his biggest target on the field, so I think it's going to be a good one, but like you said, Aaron Jones is definitely going to be running all over that defensive line.
They better watch out for him.
All right, well, lastly, Thursday Night Football. Tom Brady and the Bucs are taking on the Chicago Bears. Who's taking this one home, Erica?
I'm going with Tampa Bay. Tom Brady, he proved last week that he can do just what he does best, come back, the overall comeback, and I think that they are a stronger team offensively. They started out rough last week, though. Last week, they had a little bit of a rough patch, but I definitely think that Tampa Bay is going to take this one because they have the dependability and big playability to really make those plays when they need to, like in the fourth quarter. And I think that definitely Tampa Bay, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you on that one as well. We're not looking too different this week. but yeah, definitely, it's a little hard for me to say that I want the Bucs to get this win after watching that Chargers game, I will say. But it goes back to what I said about Aaron Rodgers. He's 36 and still pushing it. Tom Brady's 43 and has no end in sight. And after throwing 5 touchdowns alone, 5 touchdown passes against the Chargers, he is definitely, it's going to be a good one for him, and especially going up against the Bears. I think that the Bears' defense is definitely their strong suit right now, but they have so many complications when it comes to who they're playing quarterback and getting that quarterback like comfortable and fit into their lineup and everything. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see.
It's going to be an interesting lineup just to see how their offense does match up to their defense.
Absolutely. And even their offensive line. Brady has a fantastic offensive line in front of him. And I don't think I would have ever said that about the Buccaneers years ago. No. But now he has so much time in the pocket, and he gets to do whatever he wants and gets to see so many targets. I mean, it's crazy. So if his protection is still there for him for the rest of the game, I think that definitely is going to be a huge, huge difference for them. Plus, I mean, he just had the most all-time regular season wins, 222 with that win against the Chargers, and that's just crazy to me that he's 43 and still going to keep getting more too. So he's going to be just smashing those records.
I know, and he will. He definitely will. He's gonna definitely continue to.
Absolutely. Hopefully, Mike Evans is still as healthy as he can be, because I mean he still played the rest of the game against the Chargers, but he definitely got a little beaten up there. So if he's live and Gronkowski's there, then he'll be totally fine.
Oh, yeah.
Bucs will get this one
easy.
easy.
I have no doubt about that.
Absolutely. All right. Well, looks like we have summed up all our time tonight. To stay updated on all things CSU sports, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at sports_CTV. I'm Rachel Hallam.
And I'm Erica Johnson. Make sure to tune in tomorrow night for Hunter's Hotspot with Hunter Fillmore. Good night, Rams.